click here, and you're in the class. I have to say that I much prefer the personal classes, but here we are. I didn't record a meditation last week. I found myself in quite a low space, and I guess we all go through this, and I guess we all have good days and bad days, and it's important to maybe just not judge your own reaction and not to judge your own feelings, but rather to understand why you are feeling the way you are, and understanding why some of these emotions come up, and to be curious about it, to understand why is it happening? Why are you thinking that? Why is your mind wanting to go possibly into negative spaces? And so for me, I had to reconnect with awareness. And one of my teachers recently said that if you focus, you are actually doing something, you are working, you are engaging. Whereas if you are simply applying awareness, you are not engaging. You are simply becoming aware of that which is going on either around you or within you. So today I wanted to touch a little bit on awareness, and how awareness is an integral part of meditation and mindfulness in general, and how we can practice a meditation just to really hone in on that awareness and to understand what it feels like and where it comes from, and how to direct our awareness away from that which is destructive, maybe away from so many thoughts that go on in our heads, and towards finding stillness, and towards finding a space in our head where there is less thinking and less busy going on. So awareness can be split into two. So if we're talking about awareness around in a mindful practice or in a meditation practice, the mindfulness can be either the awareness, I beg your pardon, can either be an internal awareness or an external awareness. So if we have to think about external awareness, this is probably an easier concept, is to become aware of the things that trigger us. There are situations that trigger us repeatedly. There may be people that trigger some sort of a response. There may be people that repeatedly will trigger an irritation or anger or annoyance. And we need to become aware of who those people are, and then to turn that awareness internally. So from an external awareness to an internal awareness, where we become aware of how we are reacting emotionally to this person, and then to maybe take it a little bit deeper, to understand why certain people are triggers for us to react or to indulge in negative emotion or negative thought. It could be situations, repeat situations or repeat places. There are places that possibly have a negative connotation for you. And so every time you visit that place, or every time you have to go to that place, you feel anxious about it. You feel as if you are building yourself up to a point where it becomes overwhelming, and the anxiety about going to a place or being in a place becomes quite negative and destructive. So becoming aware of why we are feeling a certain type of aversion to a specific place, and to understand where that comes from, and how we can turn that situation around, or turn our feeling about the place or the situation around. So there are things that happen outside of us that cause or trigger things to happen inside of us. And if we have awareness, we can understand which outside influences trigger which emotions or reactions within us. And the only way that we can practice that, and the only way that we can do that, is by being completely present. If we are present when these emotions and triggers happen, we can quite easily identify what is happening and why it is happening, and have the space to pause and to have a calculated response towards that trigger or that outside influence, rather than react to it. So cultivating that presence and that awareness is super important in order to understand how we work with or react to triggers or influences. So our meditation practice today will be focused on awareness and becoming firstly aware of the breath and how we breathe, and then we are going to move the meditation into an awareness of internal sound. So it's quite tricky because we don't necessarily pay attention to internal sounds, and I'm not talking about the voices in your head. It is simply a sound that may be a sound that is a gentle buzzing or a humming. It may be a sound like white noise. It may be something of a vibration, but you can only become aware of it when you become still, and when you eliminate any outside influences that could distract you. So we're going to start off with some breathing, and then we will go into the guided meditation. So find a comfortable seat. If you need to sit on a pillow or a brick, just to elevate your spine so that you can tilt your spine and elongate your back, so that you are facilitating the movement of energy and breath without there being any blockages and any reason for it not to flow equally with equanimity, so that you are not necessarily focused on a feeling in your physical body, but focused possibly on the meditation and the awareness of it. So your meditation seat is making sure that you have a stable base, that your legs are either in easy pose or in lotus or half lotus, but make sure that you are stable and that your knees are not dangling, because if there is any pressure on the knee joint, it becomes sore and achy, and that becomes a distraction. As I mentioned, your spine is nice and straight to facilitate the flow of energy and breath. Your shoulders are relaxed, they're dropped away from your ears. Your chin is tucked in and slightly pushed towards your throat, so that you are elongating the back of your neck as well, in order to breathe freely. Your hands are placed one into another, thumb slightly touching, and make sure that you have got a little bit of space. I just want to move this up so that it's easier to see. Make sure that you've got a little bit of space between your arm and your body. If your arms are nicely tucked in, you tend to be warm and comfy, and it's easy to drift off to sleep and not remain present and aware in your meditation. So leave a little bit of space between your body and your arm so that air flows in between, and it is comfortable but not too cozy. So I just have this around me because I'm rather cold in the space. Your thumbs are lightly touching, again, to create an awareness. So when we do tend to drift off to sleep, our thumbs will separate and we will no longer have that connection or that awareness. And so when that starts to happen, it's easy for you to bring your awareness back into your meditation and closing off the fingertips. Your tongue is placed behind your top front teeth on your palate, and your mouth is closed. Your breathing happens through your nose. By placing the tongue on the palate, we prevent the production of saliva in our mouths, and that in turn stops us from having this swallow reflex, again distracting us from our meditation. So keeping all that in mind, you have the option of either closing your eyes completely or to draw your gaze towards the tip of your nose so that your eyes are relaxed, your eyelids are halfway closed. But if you do tend to fall asleep in your meditation, in this position, your eyes are open, and so it prevents you from drifting off to sleep. If it's too much of a distraction for you to have your eyes open, you are, of course, welcome to close them as I do. So finding your comfortable space. The aim is to not move your body, to become blissfully unaware of your physical body so that you can draw your awareness more towards your breathing, more towards your emotion. So gently close your eyes. So drawing your awareness to your breath. Notice how you are breathing. Notice if today there is maybe some sort of restriction in your throat. Your chest may be feeling heavy. There may be some emotional concerns that are weighing on you, making it physically harder to breathe. Draw your intention into your meditation. We're going to start off the meditation practice with a few rounds of Brahmari breath. So we're going to place the thumbs inside the ears, so that little ridge on the outside, that little piece of cartilage there, you're going to push that into your ears. So you're going to flatten that into your ears so that you're using that to block any sound from the outside completely. You're blocking your ears. You're then going to place your fingertips on the bridge of your nose and on your forehead. So lightly place your fingertips over the bridge of your nose, drawing your fingers nice and relaxed. So don't pinch them together. Just relax your fingertips across the bridge of your nose, using your thumbs to press that little bone into your ears to completely shut off outside sound. And as we breathe the Brahmari breath, we're going to take a nice deep inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to hum with our mouths closed. So the exhale will become an audible hum. And you want to notice what that sounds like and what the vibration feels like in your body and in your head. We're going to do 3 rounds of Brahmari breath in your own time. So drawing in your breath, close your ears and let's begin. On your last exhale, release your hands back into your lap, drawing a nice deep inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. As you breathe, listen to your breath. Drawing all your senses inwards. Start to listen intently inside your body. Listen only for a sound. Draw all your focus and all your attention only into listening. You may start to hear the juices in your intestines and your stomach. Sometimes they are quite audible and loud, but it may be very subtle today. Just listen. You may start to pick up on white noise. Draw your awareness completely to the sound. Listen intently. Keep listening. As you are deeply involved in the act of listening, drawing your full alert awareness to this practice of listening, you may start to notice another sound, a more subtle sound behind the first sound. Hone in on this, intently listening. And once you've become accustomed to the second sound, start to draw your awareness to maybe a third layer of sound. And as you hone in your awareness on the sound, keep going deeper and deeper, layer after layer. Each time of a more subtle sound behind the previous one. Each time tuning in your hearing. Each time focusing intently on the sound. Keep going. Keep listening. Keep tuning in, drawing your awareness further and further, deeper and deeper. Start to let go of that internal sound. And follow the sound of the bowl back out to your full external awareness. Follow the sound back out. Drawing your attention now to the external sounds. You may hear birds. You may hear cars, traffic. You may hear the breeze in the leaves. You may hear people talking. Music playing in the distance. And then slowly come back to your breath. Drawing a nice deep inhale. Open your mouth side out. Rub your palms together, nice and vigorously, creating a bit of friction and heat in between your palms, and then place them over your eyes. As you gently start to open your eyelids in the cool darkness. And then drop your hands back into your lap. This meditation is best practiced in a quiet space so that it gives you the opportunity to tune out of everything that happens around you and deeply tune into your own internal sounds. The more intently you listen, the more you can start to drill down into sound after sound after sound, and to stay with that sound for as long as what it is possible for you to remain focused on the sound only. It may be the sound of white noise, it may be the sound of a vibration, it may sound similar to the running of a car engine. There are so many different layers as you keep listening. Eventually it might just be a hum. You may not hear anything at all, and that's okay, because the act of listening is engaging all your senses to draw you in so that it stills your mind completely because it's engaged in the listening. So your awareness turns completely internal, and you can then start to focus on the external sounds as you come out of your meditation, which beautifully illustrates the difference between what happens internally and what happens externally. So practice this meditation in the week to come. I always like to set a timer so that I don't become anxious about time and how long I have been listening or been in a quiet space. It just gives you that reassurance that for however much time you've set aside for yourself, that you have a reminder to come back into your full consciousness so that you're not worried about time and that it's not sitting in the back of your head, but you can fully immerse yourself in the meditation. So, as I said, try and practice it this week and see what sounds come up and what internal sounds you can connect with. So let's draw our prayer together at our heart center, closing the eyes. And as always, intend to extend the benefits of your meditation for the well-being of all beings, so that we may all find stillness. We may all find awareness in our present daily life, so that we can tread through this life with full gratitude and appreciation. The light inside of me recognizes and honors the light in each of you. Namaste. Thanks, everyone.